In this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, the revived Hokage arrive at the battlefield to take on the destructive power of the Ten Tails, and Team 7 is finally reunited. But first, a quick word from our sponsorinos.
You get it. Your ass is a major part of your life, and it deserves the same level of respect as the rest of you. And after a long day of mud wrestling and grandma's chocolate pudding, you want to feel fresh, and you can with One Wipe Charlie's. I'd also highly recommend checking out their high-quality razor blades, which can also be shipped directly to you. You can find a link for them in our description box below at dollarshaveclub.com/SKG. And make sure to check out the One Wipe Charlie's. With their peppermint scent, they'll make your ass smell like Christmas morning.
One word describes this episode: classic. This gave me that old-school Naruto feeling, and I think Choji put it best when he said it reminds him of the good old days of the Chunin exam, when Sasuke was still a good guy, everybody was comrades in arms, and the series was a little lighter in tone. This week's episode was fantastic, not only because the animation and the artwork was a little better, but we got to see the return of some classic characters, like all of the Hokage taking on the Ten Tails at once, not to mention that great scene when suddenly Sasuke just arrives on the battlefield out of nowhere and suddenly declares that he is going to become the Hokage. He wants to protect the Hidden Leaf, and pretty much everybody reacts the same way. They all say, "What the hell are you talking about? That's not going to work," and I especially love the fact that Kiba was so vocal about this, because in the manga version, I found that scene very funny, and it was just as good in the anime version. But let's talk about some of the action scenes this week, because this one had it in spades. We finally got to see the Ten Tails going a little more all-out and destroying the landscape with the power of its massive Bijou bombs, and this time it uses it on an entirely new level. It starts to puke up Vileplume's face and then launch this massive attack which is meant to destroy the entire Shinobi Alliance. But thanks to some very quick thinking from Shikamaru and working with Kitsuchi the Stone Ninja and Ino, who was surprisingly badass this week when she decided to take over the mind of every ninja in the Shinobi Alliance. She was totally ready to kick some ass, by the way. They managed to make all of the ninja create these massive wall barriers that would try to block it. Killer Bee tried to get in there and knock it away with his Bijou bombs and then tried to block it himself. And then suddenly this lone kunai just lands right in front of it and the entire Bijou bomb just disappears. And suddenly, Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage of pure badassery, arrives on the battlefield and makes quite an entrance. Naruto knew he was coming the entire time, and that's because, of course, he has Kurama inside of him, and Minato himself has the other form of Kurama inside of him. And he's also able to go through that badass transformation, and it was great seeing it in the manga version. Seeing it in color with all the flowingness and everything is so freaking awesome! Not to be upstaged, we have the third, we have the first, we have the second. They all arrive, they're all badass, they take on the Ten Tails, and they have this massive barrier that they trap it in. And then you have the first Hokage, who uses this weird gate ability, where these gates fall from the sky and land on top of the Ten Tails' hand, tail, arm things. And thus, it is now trapped inside. But it's the end of the episode where you get all jacked up, because Team 7 is finally reunited. I love the scene where Naruto and Sasuke start to run off to battle, but then Sakura joins them and reminds them that she's been trained by one of the legendary Sannin, and she is just as badass, and she's almost reached her full power so that she can go all out. Just seeing all three of these characters standing together and all of their old friends and comrades right below them getting ready to go to battle is just incredible. It's one of the few moments in Shippuden where I started to tear up a little bit because it reminded me of the good old days, and it reminds me of how long I've been watching this series and how attached I am to these characters and how much I can't wait to see them go all out and work with each other, because the coming episodes are going to be kind of insane, and they're just going to get crazier as it goes on, so you can definitely consider this the moment where this final arc is getting ready to go damn nuts. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden? I loved it. Is that not obvious? I freaking loved this episode. It was so good. It wasn't perfect. You know, some of the pacing in the beginning was a little slower, but for the most part, this was a wholly entertaining episode, which really made great use of character artwork. I wish the series could look like this every single week, and it was immediately noticeable, especially at the beginning of the episode, because they start with a clip from the previous week, and then when they immediately cut to Killer Bee and the Eight Tails, you can just tell the art style is significantly better. All of the character expressions were great this week, especially from Naruto, Minato, and Kiba. Kiba is so funny. I really can't wait to see what else he's going to do in the rest of this arc. And what's also really great about this one is they also made a little bit of time for Obito and Kakashi to have a little bit more of a battle of ideologies. Their real battle has not quite started yet. It seems like they're still building up to that. But I'm not gonna mind. With all the Hokages arriving and frickin' Sasuke coming up and just saying he's gonna be Hokage, that's crazy. And I really like the fact that they cut back to that one flashback, which I usually hate flashbacks, where Itachi was mentioning about why, you know, you should become Hokage. And when Naruto hears this, it sort of becomes clear what Sasuke is doing, you know. He's not a bad guy anymore. He just wants to change things in his own specific way. He doesn't want to be acknowledged by anyone. He doesn't want anybody to notice him. Everybody already notices Sasuke. He simply wants to go into the village and make things right again, to rectify all of the things that were done in the past. Otherwise, animation kicked ass. Artwork was fantastic. Music was appropriate. There were a small amount of funny scenes which were good. Just a lot of great build-up. This was a build-up episode at the end of the day, but it was a really exciting and explosive build-up episode, and it's got me really excited for the rest of the anime series for the rest of the year, because supposedly no more filler, except for a Mecha Naruto special, which is going to be coming out, I believe, in a month, and that's supposed to tie into the brand new PS3 and Xbox game, which has Mecha Naruto in it, and I don't know what they're doing with that, but it's definitely going to be exciting. It's basically going to be like a mini-movie, so expect my review on that as well. But this week's episode was awesome, a little weird in some spots, but otherwise, this is like a legendary setup episode. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It kicked ass. I loved it. Check it out, guys. Thank you guys for watching my review today. Before you leave, make sure to hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's exciting episode of Naruto Shippuden. Did you have a favorite Hokage who showed up? What do you think of Team 7 being reunited? And what do you want to see from the rest of the anime series? And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys have not already, and you can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for those in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.